A scathing attack on the stock market day trading industry. Government regulators accuse day trading firms of misleading investors who they say almost always end up losing money. A big shakeup in the Kremlin. Boris Yeltsin names a new prime minister and his heir apparent. And American business heads for a new frontier where the profit potential is astronomical.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. They seek their fortunes online, on the internet, stock market day traders. Today, state regulators accuse the industry that caters to day traders of misleading them about the risk versus the potential for striking it rich. While some day traders do make big bucks, this report says 7 out of 10 actually lose money. The day trading industry sharply disagrees. CBS coverage begins with Diana Olick.
At this Virginia office, you don't need a broker or a financial advisor.
The people who do make money are the people who put their time and effort into this.
All you need is cash.
Minimum deposit to open an account is $25,000.
These are day traders, average Americans out to make quick money by buying and selling stocks minute to minute and then cashing in at the end of the day.
The fact is, day trading isn't investing, it's gambling. There's no other word for it.
A study released today by a watchdog group representing state securities regulators claims you have a better chance of winning here than you do here.
This is hucksterism. The odds are you won't get rich. The odds are you'll lose money.
The study analyzed only one day trading office over 7 months and found 70% of the customers lost money. The day trading firm used deceptive marketing, promising fast, easy money, and it encouraged questionable lending schemes to keep customers at the computer even when they didn't have the cash.
Day trading firms are after anybody they can get from everything we've seen.
Day trading was pushed into the spotlight when a former customer shot his way through 2 day trading firms in Atlanta. Critics of today's study argue that has made some unfairly suspicious of the business.
After the first 5 months, something like 60 to 65% of people make money.
Attorney Saul Cohen, who represents day trading firms, says the study failed to take into account a day trader's learning curve.
One of the interesting things about the NASA report is there are no complaints. It doesn't talk about customer complaints because there ain't none.
Day trading is as old as the stock market, but like everything else, going high-tech made it faster, easier, and more accessible. The number of day traders is expected to rise as long as the market heads in the same direction. Diana Olick, CBS News, Washington.
It should be noted that the study today is careful to distinguish between the day trading industry and the millions of people who trade online with more traditional brokerage accounts. Now, while day traders can lose personal fortunes, as anyone who deals in stocks can, day trading has developed into a major new factor on Wall Street as a whole, especially the technology-heavy NASDAQ exchange. CBS's John Roberts has that part of the story.
Whatever you call it, a hobby, a vocation,
from 4 different market makers,
or a sport.
See, that's what sort it is.
Day trading has gone in 10 years from a novelty to a phenomenon that now has the power to move markets. Though day traders represent less than 1% of all investors, they account for 15% of the volume on the NASDAQ exchange, their main playground. And in a world where long-term investment is measured in seconds, all that buying and selling can send shockwaves through the markets.
It's creating tremendous levels of volatility in individual issues.
Scott Blyer, a market strategist for a major brokerage firm, says short-term speculation is as old as the market. What's different now is that technology has given day traders the tools to make hundreds of transactions a day. Internet stocks in short supply are a favorite target.
When everybody wants to buy them, it's like an elephant going through a door. Everybody wants the same thing at the same time. Nobody's got it, and it drives the stock price way up.
Who gets hurt? Individuals who get sucked in by the frenzy created by day traders and buy those so-called momentum stocks looking for long-term investment.
You can profit from it by knowing the game. If you know the game, you make sure you're in and out.
And if you don't know the game?
And if you don't know the game, you shouldn't play it because you're going to lose, and you're going to lose fast.
The new fascination with day trading has created a paradox. Usually, the more people in the market, the more stable it is because each individual investor has less influence. But with many new players bringing a video game mentality to trading, the ride on Wall Street could get even wilder. John Roberts, CBS News, New York.
Now about political fortunes overseas. There was another Kremlin shakeup today. Out, Prime Minister Sebastian, who met recently with President Clinton. In is a former espionage operative and Boris Yeltsin's fifth new prime minister in 18 months. CBS's David Hawkins reports Yeltsin gives every appearance of thinking long-term survival.
Vladimir Putin, Yeltsin's latest choice for prime minister and political heir apparent, is a former Soviet spy and until today ran Russia's Federal Security Service, once known as the KGB. In a televised address, Yeltsin said the 46-year-old security boss is the best man to lead Russia into the 21st century. But friends and enemies alike say Yeltsin's new favorite was picked to guarantee that Yeltsin's inner circle will remain in power, even after the 68-year-old president steps down next year. That is, if he steps down. Russia is scheduled to hold presidential elections next summer, and Yeltsin is forbidden by law from running for another term. But there have been rumors here for months that the Kremlin is hatching a plot to keep the ailing president in office after his term expires. A small team of Yeltsin's most loyal aides and supporters, known as the family, are said to be trying desperately to find a way to hold on to the power and wealth they've accumulated during Yeltsin's reign. And more importantly, they want to avoid criminal prosecution for their alleged involvement in any number of corruption scandals. Vladimir Putin, the former KGB man, may be just the person to protect Yeltsin and the family from political revenge. It might seem as if Boris Yeltsin is once again throwing Russia's political chessboard into the air, tossing out one prime minister for the next. But in reality, it's a shrewd and calculated move to play the kingmaker. David Hawkins, CBS News, Moscow.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, new allegations that American workers were exposed to high radiation and didn't know it. Ken Starr's latest comments about the Clintons and plans for a final report. And watch this space for a look at the future of business.
Opening arguments start at 9:30 whether this arthritis pain goes away or not. So I took Advil liquid gels. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain. They're the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Advil liquid gels. Stronger than pain.
I should have used Preparation H. Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
Staples presents the Staples Coach of the Week program. It's our salute to leaders on the field and in the classroom. And it's your chance to win $5,000 in school supplies for your school, plus a visit from your local NFL head coach. To enter, visit a Staples near you. Register at www.staples.com or send your entry to Staples Coach of the Week. Watch NFL Today Sundays on CBS for winners.
You're on Love Matters. When Love Matters, I'm here to help. Dave?
Yeah, I'm having this problem with my girlfriend. It's kind of involved.
Diarrhea. Get it, and you want it gone.
You're a really good listener, you know.
He needs Imodium AD.
Imodium Advanced. It's even better.
Only Imodium Advanced relieves diarrhea plus cramps and bloating by combining two medicines, and it's even faster than Imodium AD.
So was I right to invite my mom along on my honeymoon?
Oh, Dave, absolutely.
Imodium Advanced. Faster relief you can count on.
Tragedy struck today on a quiet country road near Fresno, California. A crowded van carrying farm workers slammed into a tractor-trailer that was making a U-turn. 13 people in the van who worked sorting tomatoes were killed. The Highway Patrol says the van's brakes apparently locked. Another nasty nuclear dirty secret of the Cold War has surfaced with a familiar plotline. Americans who may have been exposed to highly radioactive materials without their knowledge or consent. This time, the disclosures and allegations involve American workers at a nuclear plant. CBS's Jim Stewart has been digging up the facts.
For 23 years, federal workers at this energy department plant in Paducah, Kentucky, inhaled, ate, and worked in highly radioactive dust that the government knew about but never informed the workers of, according to a just-published report. Citing sealed court documents, the Washington Post said the workers were misled into thinking they were working with less harmful uranium rather than the more radioactive plutonium, and that the subterfuge has led many to develop serious health problems. Workers like Joe Harding, who recorded this message even as he was dying.
Well, you could see your own tracks in this uranium dust. Thinking back on this now just horrifies you. Well, that'll kill you.
Energy Secretary Bill Richardson has launched an investigation but is already apologizing.
We should look our workers in the eye, say to them, we lied to you if we did. We should compensate you if you've been harmed. We will help you with your medical bills.
Opened in 1952 when the Cold War was just underway, the Paducah plant was designed to create nuclear weapons-grade material, first for atomic bombs and later for the precision-guided ICBM missiles. But in the rush to develop weapons, critics say few thoughts went into safety.
I believe that it was quite a systematic thing to put bomb making first and health and environment second.
As with most of the horror stories of radioactive contamination that continue to leak out of America's past, this one too appears to be based on deceit. The workers at the Paducah plant say they were never told that the dust they were breathing just might kill them one day. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
On the CBS Market Watch, the Postal Service today introduced PC postage. With an online personal computer, you can now buy and print your own postage. A long-distance telephone price war has broken out. MCI WorldCom today announced a nickel a minute rate for nights and weekends, similar to a new Sprint plan. Gasoline prices are inching up to a nationwide average tonight of $1.20 a gallon. On Wall Street, stock prices closed lower, the Dow down 6 points, NASDAQ off 29. Next up on the CBS Evening News, crunch time in Kosovo for NATO troops trying and often failing to keep the ethnic peace.
Nancy will have to see from near to far almost 1,000 times today. Her eyes will focus on 40 labels, 60 charts, and 100 smiles. And in all that time, she'll never once think about the science that allows her to focus instantly at all distances. Nancy just knows that her Verilux lenses help her see better. And for her, that's a very comforting thought. Verilux, the comfort of better vision. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-VERILUX.
Problem?
The doctor says my cholesterol's still too high.
What about diet and exercise?
They didn't do enough.
So?
He suggested adding Lipitor.
Lipitor, the #1 prescribed medication for lowering cholesterol. In clinical studies, Lipitor with diet was proven to lower bad cholesterol 39 to 60%, total cholesterol 29 to 45%, triglycerides 19 to 37%.
He said over 4 million people have started taking Lipitor to lower their cholesterol.
Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease or possible liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant.
There'll be blood tests to check for liver problems.
Tell your doctor about muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of serious side effects.
You take Lipitor once a day.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist for more information on Lipitor and call 1-888-LIPITOR.
Well?
Lipitor did it. My cholesterol's way down.
Lipitor, the lower numbers you're looking for.
Great meal. Uh-oh, gas pressure. What now? What else? Gas X, with the most powerful medicine for fast relief. Nothing works faster.
Hey, wanna go for ice cream?
Gas X, the power to fight gas fast.
Wedding season is here, and isn't it nice to know there's one thing that will never let you down? Thompson's Wood Protector. For rain, sun, mildew, it's the most powerful Thompson's yet. You may now protect the deck. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
NATO and United Nations planners in Kosovo had counted on ethnic violence abating by now, 8 weeks after the Allied bombing stopped. But violent confrontations are escalating, and U.S. officials are asking tonight if this trend can be reversed. More about that now from CBS's Bill Plant at the White House.
This is exactly what the U.S. and its NATO allies hoped UN forces in Kosovo would prevent in the wake of a bitter war. For the third straight day, French peacekeeping forces battled back rock-throwing Kosovar Albanians bent on revenge against Serbs who live across a bridge on the other side of Mitrovica. The peacekeepers' mission is to help Kosovo's Albanians and Serbs rebuild as a multi-ethnic society. But on the ground, all politics is local, The big picture is not the first concern of ethnic Albanians who once had homes across the bridge.
We understand people want to go home. We believe they have a right to go home. Our only concern is that this proceed in an orderly and safe manner so that there's no more death in Mitrovica.
In war-ravaged Kosovo, officials fear that the tensions of Mitrovica will be duplicated in any of the places where Serbs have remained. The wounds are too fresh, the damage too great for reconciliation to be easy. It will take, said one official, an environment in which people feel they have a stake in keeping the peace. A senior White House official told CBS News that the next month will be critical in Kosovo. If the international community can't succeed in imposing its will, then the situation could easily spin out of control. And the ideal of a multi-ethnic Kosovo for which NATO troops fought would never come to pass. Dan?
Bill Plant, one of our White House correspondents. The number 3 man in the U.S. State Department arrives tonight in Colombia. Thomas Pickering is to discuss the growing concern over the rapid rise of a Marxist-style guerrilla army now heavily financed by the narcotics business. The U.S. is already more heavily involved than is generally known in efforts to stem the narco-guerrillas' operations in wide areas of Colombia and in parts of Venezuela and Panama. Pickering is in Colombia now to talk about a possible significant U.S. increase in that help. Just ahead on the CBS Evening News, Special Prosecutor Ken Starr again talking about the Clintons and his still-in-progress investigation.
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
Spray and Wash Advanced Stain Care penetrates faster than Shout and powers out those dirty sweat stains. So you can
let them go, let them play. Let them go with Spray and Wash.
Out here, I'm in command. So am I supposed to say, slow down guys, I'm constipated? I don't think so. You try to eat right, sometimes you can't. Harsh chemical laxatives, they can kick in whenever and wherever. Not an option. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. It's got 100% natural fiber. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
Open wide! It's Frisky's Dental Diet. A Frisky cat's too busy having fun to worry about dental hygiene. That's why there's Frisky's Dental Diet. It helps reduce plaque and tartar buildup by 25%. What a meal! Frisky's Dental Diet.
Used to be, if I want something done right, I called me. It worked. Until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me 2 ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Now Nicorette is available in mint. What a refreshing choice. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Special Prosecutor Ken Starr said today his final report on the Clintons is still in the works. The latest due date, he said, sometime before Election Day 2000. The total cost of Starr's 5-year investigation, when completed, is expected to be more than $48.5 million, the most expensive ever. CBS's Phil Jones has the latest on what Starr said and didn't say.
As President Clinton was in Washington trying to save a part of his legacy, a youth volunteer program.
In so many ways, AmeriCorps is the embodiment of the deal I struck with the American people.
And as Hillary Clinton was on the New York Senate campaign trail promoting herself and attacking Republicans on education.
But the Republican tax plan would literally gut this investment.
The man who could change the legacies of both Clintons was also talking. Independent counsel Kenneth Starr said he would issue his final report on the Clinton investigation before the 2000 election. And he said it would need to be a comprehensive final report that is factually straightforward, that does not engage in characterization. Lanny Davis, a former Clinton White House lawyer, today called for Starr to issue a complete exoneration and say,
I investigated the Clintons. I found no wrongdoing. I investigated the travel office. I found no wrongdoing. I investigated the FBI files concerning the Clintons. I found no wrongdoing. We would all be amazed if Kenneth Starr would do that. He won't, because so much of his orientation was to find guilt, and he should, I think, in conscience, where he doesn't find guilt, say so.
Starr did say he's gotten a clear message that Congress does not want a final report to be an avenue for allegations of criminal conduct on the part of the Clintons. If he believes there is criminal wrongdoing, he'll have to prosecute, something he refused to speculate on today. Phil Jones, CBS News, Washington.
It was 25 years ago today. Richard M. Nixon did something no other American president did before or since.
We don't have a good word for it in English. The best is au revoir. We'll see you again.
August 9th, 1974, a defining moment for America and the American presidency. Forced out over his cover-up of a widespread criminal conspiracy called for short Watergate, Richard M. Nixon became the first president ever to resign from office.
My mother was a saint.
At times tearful, Nixon stood before family and friends in the East Room of the White House and delivered his capitulation speech.
Always remember, others may hate you, but those who hate you don't win unless you hate them. And then you destroy yourself.
In a dramatic scene forever etched in the national consciousness, Mr. Nixon boarded Marine One for the last time. He turned and waved, and then he was gone.
I, Gerald R. Ford, do solemnly swear.
At 12 noon that day, without a single vote, Gerald Ford became our 38th president.
My fellow Americans, our long national nightmare is over.
A moment in history, 25 years ago today. Up next on the CBS Evening News, all eyes on the sky for Eye on America, the new business pioneers with stars and dollar signs in their eyes.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
You know my friend Mr. Moretti, he worries about the arthritis in my hands. So he came with me to the doctor. Now I am on a wonderful treatment.
Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. It works as well as the leading arthritis prescription, but is much gentler to your stomach.
Mr. Moretti says I have beautiful hands.
Tylenol Arthritis. Take comfort in our strength.
Ask your doctor about Viagra. A neglected septic system is like a time bomb under your house. Diffuse it with maintenance and advanced formula Rid-X septic treatment. It digests grease and paper and helps keep your system trouble-free. Diffuse that time bomb. Use Rid-X every month.
When Americans take to the road, they generally take stuff.
We have the stroller, which has to be in the car at all times.
Transports my bike and anybody else that wants to go.
That's why Americans are switching to Chevy Malibu.
Powerful, roomy, comfortable.
Malibu offers a V6 and still costs over $3,000 less than Camry and Accord.
We're very happy we bought the Malibu.
The car you knew America could build. Malibu.
Step into a new Malibu and get 0% APR financing up to 36 months or $1,500 cash back. See your local Chevrolet dealer today.
Only LensCrafters has a new and improved no-line multifocal lens called Maximum View Progressives. Other no-line progressive lenses have a more limited vision area, but new MVPs have a vision area that's up to 20% larger to help you see better. New MVPs, only at LensCrafters.
We began our broadcast tonight with news of the new high-risk business of day trading on the Internet. Tonight we end with an Eye on America report on the competition for sky-high profits in another sphere. CBS's Anthony Mason takes you to space, the final frontier a free enterprise.
The countdown has begun on a new space race, and this time the pioneers aren't astronauts, they're entrepreneurs.
And then it dawned on me that
Businessman Jim Benson has launched the world's first commercial space exploration company.
the small rocket that we do to start with be about the size of this one right here.
He's not in it for the adventure, he's in it for the profit.
How much money can be made, do you think?
It's in the trillions.
At Space Dev's headquarters in a San Diego suburb, Benson already has recruited 20 top rocket scientists. He's building his own space center.
And after we finish assembling and testing the spacecraft in here, they'll be launched, and this will become the Mission Control Center.
And Benson says he can do it all for a quarter of what it costs NASA.
Miniaturization and off-the-shelf components are allowing spacecraft to be built that don't cost any more than a private jet or a mega yacht these days.
And oh yes, he'll even have a gift shop for guests.
One fellow wants us to sell golf putters made out of iron meteorites.
Scientists say it's no fantasy.
It's critical to understand that commercial space is a reality today and a very significant business.
Consultant Carissa Christensen says last year, for the first time, more than half of all launches were not governmental, but commercial.
The commercial segment of the industry is growing at a much faster rate.
Satellite launches for telephones and television account for much of that growth, but Benson has bigger dreams, like mining asteroids.
So what's out there to mine? These right here that may be comets, because comets are ice is water, and water is hydrogen and oxygen. That's rocket fuel.
Filling stations in space. Benson says water will be
white gold. White gold.
They'll need it to mine the asteroid called 1986 DA, a mile-wide ball of nickel and iron.
And it's probably worth about $80 trillion if it were on Earth.
There are risks in this gold rush, of course.
If you invest in a satellite operation and the launch fails, and that's rare, but it happens, you've lost a huge amount of money, $50, $75 million.
6 major launches have failed in the past year in the U.S.
Burnout on all 6 solids?
I mean, nobody wants a failure. We don't plan to fail, but we'll be backed up in case we do, and we'll go out and we'll do it again, and we'll do it again until we're successful.
Space Dev's first mission will blast off this winter. It's Benson's first voyage towards an extraterrestrial economy.
You know, space is just a challenge, that's all.
No, the space race isn't over. It's just begun. In Washington, I'm Anthony Mason for Eye on America.
And that's part of our world tonight. I'll be back later with our Monday edition of a 48 Hours Mystery. Phil Jones has a preview.
When a treatable illness kills an 11-year-old boy, his parents stand accused. Are they to blame?
You ought to know when your child is dying before your eyes.
Who killed Alan Griffin? Later on 48 Hours.
A 48 Hours Monday Mystery. Tonight at 10, 9 Central Time here on CBS. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. I'll see you again soon on 48 Hours.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
How much would you pay to buy your freedom? These Cubans are paying through the nose, and wait till you see who's getting them out. Tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Get high-tech help with the housework tomorrow on This Morning. CBS News.
It's hard to sleep at night.